The 25 watt 200 ohm resistor has arrived, so I'm going to go ahead and replace these two large 50 watters. And I've already pulled the chassis out and I have the wires unsoldered. So now what we have to do is just cut this old wire here that I used to hold that in and lift it out. Now I'll go ahead and keep these two soldered together. I may have to wind up sticking them back in because this one may not do the job. So it should. The calculations say it will. I think Brendan said 18 watts was what we needed. This is 25, and it's going to get pretty warm, but it can handle it. In order to make it easier to mount this resistor here, I've decided to go ahead and cut a little slot. All I did was I drilled the hole out a little bit larger and then used my moto tool to cut it into a spade connector type of shape. And this is the screw and nut and lock washer that will be used to mount it. And I'm going to mount it right here where I drilled a hole. Let's see if I can get a little closer here. Put it right there where I drilled that hole, and right now I have this moved to the side a little bit so I can get the room I need. So let's do that. Well, there she is. She's now anchored in there, and I brought this wire up here from the side to keep it away from the heat of the body of the resistor. The other one is way clear down here in the bottom, and it's anchored in with that screw, and it's got plenty of heat sink on this, and a little help from this one here too, the old selenium rectifier. So we'll see what happens. You know, if it doesn't work, it's an easy removal and a new install. Alright, I just turned it on and we have a light down here in the channel changer. Let's see what happens. What I want is a picture. Ah ha ha. Now let's see how long it lasts before that resistor blows. Well, I don't see any smoke coming from right there. We'll just let this baby run for quite a while. It's got plenty of heat sink there. It should really take away the heat and help out a lot. And that's our test pattern that I'm using for final adjustments and final tweaks. Unfortunately, the top is way high and I can't get it to come down. I've adjusted everything, tweaked everything. Not exactly sure what's causing that. I need to move it over that way a little bit. But I'll let it warm up here for about another half an hour before I do any of that. I thought maybe a quality movie on this set would help a lot. So I went ahead and put Kung Fu Hustle on. Now that's, I mean, we're talking Academy Award type stuff here. I'll tell you what, this is great stuff here. This one guy took on like 50 dudes. He is bad. Look at it. They're laying all over the ground. You know, that's for real. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, they just kicked butt on like 200 dudes, man. Yeah, that's genuine cinema there. I think this project has finally come to an end, everybody. The TV is playing to my satisfaction. And old Brendan, he's just tired of hearing about it. So poor guy, I bugged him to death. But boy, I tell you what, he taught me a whole lot. I couldn't have done it without him. I really couldn't. The man has been a boon to the success of this project. And it's always good to have a feller like him around. So all the credit goes to him for this successful completion of this TV. So with that being said, and I've already told that to Brendan many times, it's now time for the Mooners. Today, wifey and I went downtown and hit a bunch of flea markets, and I managed to come up with a table, strong table. It doesn't look very strong, but it is. It's solid. And I needed something that would be strong enough to hold this television because it's a very heavy TV. And I found one at a flea market at a very good price, and while I was there was a small lamp that had a kind of an antique look to it, and I liked that lamp too. So it was both being sold by the same vendor at the flea market, and I went ahead and picked them both up. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and I got everything all set up. We're getting ready to watch the old Honeymooners, and this is it's got 2, 4, 6, 8 Jackie Gleason shows on it, and the first one is where Ed Norton and his wife get a television, and their second TV, actually. And Cramden, Ralph, and his wife, Alice, they haven't got a TV yet, and she wants one. It's one of the all-time classics. All I have to do now is get a few more doilies to put things on, and I really like this little lamp. It doesn't light up. You know, back when I was a kid, everybody had a TV similar to this, and they all had little TV lamps on them, all different kinds. Matter of fact, TV lamps back in my day was big business, and they still are on eBay if you look at some of the prices on them. But this is so cool. Let's see if I can get it turned on here. That's just so cool. It looks much brighter in the camera than it actually is. Let me go ahead and turn off this light. And that's what it looked like when I was a kid, folks. We all sat around the TV. So let's get this thing cranked up and watch the show. The picture's still a little messed up, but as it warms up, it gets better. This is too cool. Oh my goodness sakes, the thing is really, it's going to have to do a lot of warming up here. Let me see if I get this a little better. He might be a little late for bowling tonight. On his way home from work, he has to stop at the television store. This is fun. You know, even if the picture is not exactly the way it used to be, or the way it's supposed to be, this is the way it used to be, actually. You know, it's an old television. My God, it's 60 years old. Oh, I wish Ralph would get me a television. I begged them, Trixie, for a set. I pleaded with Al. You're never going to get anything out of Ralph by begging. I was going to love to see us beg. Whenever I want to get something out of Ed, I just use the old pipe and slippers routine. What's that? Well, when Ed gets home from work, I bring him his pipe and his slippers, and I put it on him, and I flatter him, and I make him real comfortable. And when he's in a good mood, I spring it on him. And Alex, it never fails.
Hi, Alex.
Oh, hi, Alex.
Hi. Hurry up with my eats. I'm going boom.
Quiet, Alex. Believe me, it'll work.
Well,
You don't have to hurry. Ed called and said he might be a little late tonight. Why don't you just let me make you comfortable here, because you've been gone all day long, and I missed you something terrible, sweetums.
who's Sweetums?
You're sweetums.
You're nuts.
Oh, Ralph. Come on, sit down and let me make you comfortable. That way I can look at my darling boy while I'm making supper.
Have you been having headaches lately?
Ralph, there's nothing wrong with me. Come on now, sit down and relax. Come on, and I'll get you the paper.
Every time those subtitles come on there, it causes a problem. I don't like that.
Oh, yeah, she's gone all right.
Paper.
Anyway, that's what we'll be watching from time to time. Look at there, she's starting to roll. Now that makes me upset, but that's the way it is. A few more adjustments as time goes on.
I'm going bowling
Anyway, a few more adjustments, like I said, over time. We'll just keep messing with it. It'll get better and better. But that's it, from a nothing TV to an operational TV.
I know she's there. She's either out on that fire escape or hiding in the bathroom. Your mother is here, Alice, but she's not.
Well, that's it for the TV, folks. And next time we're going to pick back up with the Atwater Kent speaker. For those of you who have been following my videos, you know, along with the TV, I was working on an Atwater Kent Model 37, and we had just torn apart the Atwater Kent Model E speaker that matched the matching speaker to the Model 37. And I have built this little thing and drilled some holes in it that we're going to use in the second half of the speaker repair. One last thing, while the wife and I were flea marketing out there today, I stopped off the Salvation Army, of course, and I found some old-time radio shows. And there are 6 cassettes in each box, and there's 2 shows on each cassette. And these were the Radio Spirits Incorporated shows. And I got a Duffy's Tavern. I got 2 Burns and Allen, and 2 Charlie McCarthy sets, which is fantastic. I love listening to old-time radio shows. And then I got another one. It was kind of an interesting thing. Very few people have heard of this. How many of you have heard of Rocco Fortunato? Rocco Fortunato was a character portrayed in the radio series, but he was known not as Rocco Fortunato, but he was known as Rocky Fortune. And, you know, kind of a takeoff of Rocco Fortunato. But Rocky Fortune was a kind of a shiftless guy, always needing a job and looking, and working this, working that, doing this, doing that. Kind of a cocky, smart-mouthed guy. Always rescuing women from their different misfortunes, and men sometimes. And it only aired 25 episodes from October of '53 until March of '54. And it's kind of interesting because here's the star of Rocky Fortune, Frank Sinatra. Very few people knew that. Anyway, I got all these for $3, 50 cents a piece. Pretty good deal. For those of you who stuck with me through the TV series, thank you very much. In particular, my good buddy and my mentor, Brendan, up in Detroit. Without him, there would have been no series. So until next time, this is John.